And we are ready to begin. So let's go over to our first requirement. Create a get endpoint returning all products in a JSON array of objects. Return all fields including ID, name, description, and price. And here we have the code. Let's take a look at the code and see what it's doing. So first we have base, that's the local host where the API is going to be located. Then we have our context, and this is our network request context. So everything within this context should have to do with network requests. So our first requirement is we need an endpoint where we can get all of the products back. So we have cy.request, which is how you build a request with Cypress. And then we put our base in there and the word product. So the endpoint has to be this plus the word product. Then we'll have the response coming back. We expect the response status to be 200. We expect the response.body, the first one, to include keys, and that's ID, name, description, and price. I'm going to run our server, even though it's definitely going to fail. I'm also going to change our local host here because we have 5182. Let's get that changed. I'll save that, and we'll head over to Cypress and run this test. Okay, and we get a failure, and we expected to. Let's create that endpoint so we can satisfy this test now. I'll go to my steps because I did want to show this here. Here's how we can make a controller. It's a pretty cool way of doing it. So we're going to make the product controller, and after this we'll have an order controller that's much larger, but just to get us started, we'll make a product controller here. I'm going to just shut this down for now and paste this in. So this is the code generator. I'm going to make this async. It's very unlikely you'll need to make async APIs, but if you're working with some really high-end production grade APIs, especially if they're using multiple databases and doing a lot of cloud-based interactions, async will help you. It'll free up your threads to let them do some other stuff as we're waiting. So you'll see the out directory will be controller, so it should make that folder for us. And here we are. We have our controller. Definitely don't leave this. This is very strange. I don't know why they like doing it that way. I like having the name there. In case we change our API at all, we still have that hard-coded and we know the API route. So we have our product controller now, and we have this right here. This should be the get that does it because we have API/product, and if we throw a get there, it'll give a list of all of the products. So let's get rid of everything else, and we'll just keep that. So let's run our server and run our test again. And we could see that we got the test correctly. It came back how we wanted it to. And what's really cool about this is that you can use your console to kind of see more information about each one of these. Really cool way of handling things. You can see exactly here's what was actual, here's what was expected, here's the actual request and what it yielded. Very, very cool way to interact with Cypress. Let's see what our next requirement is. I really hope that you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you on the next video. As always, keep coding.